the month of Sundays, do it all again. Race 'em in the sand, buck 'em in the mud, drip a cowboy's sweat, bleed a cowboy's blood.
I'm Zeke Thurston, 2016 World Champion Saddlebrock Rider, and you're watching The Peppered Stewart Show.
He told you that. He told you you're watching it. You're watching or you're listening. Whichever you choose, that's your choice, because in life, you do have those things called choices. You can choose those. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on today. I don't know what is going to happen. I think we're going to flip the script and go backwards. I think we're going to go backwards today because there's a lot of stuff to get to concerning the rodeo world, concerning the news, TV, stuff that's happening. The trending topics we've got are insane. Some odd news stuff that you probably have not heard. You might have, you probably haven't. I don't know. We got some Corona talk. We got some rodeo talk. We got some spook talk. If you want to get scared or not, it's up to you. That's your choice. You can. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And with all this stuff we're going to do, it's going to be interesting to most of you. Some of you are going to think you're flipped onto the wrong channel, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do right now is give you guys a little word from our partner. We're going to come back and talk about some spooky stuff.
Arlington, Texas. The boys are back in town, and they're bringing some friends. The professional bull riders are bringing the 2020 World Finals to the AT&T Stadium. The world's toughest riders and rankest bulls invade Texas, November 12th through the 15th for 4 nights of bone-crushing, heart-pounding entertainment. Limited tickets are available at the box office, online at SeatGeek.com and PBR.com. Find out what it means to be cowboy.
That's right. North Texas, right down the road from here, that way. Check it out. You're going to want to be there for that. We'll get more into that as we get on, but I want to tell you this. Some haunted stuff. Spooktacular events is going on. You know, Halloween's coming up. There's a lot of things happening. There's a site that you probably want to check out. It's called Haunted Rooms America, and they've got stuff going on all the time. Lots of places you can go. And recently, we got back from a trip we took down south to, first off, we went to San Antonio to the Black Swan Inn. It's a really old house on a kind of like an old plantation house where a lot of stuff happened. There was a big battle there that happened there at the river. It was kind of neat. It wasn't as, the spook factor wasn't there as you would think in an old house. But, you know, with anything like that, you can't expect these ghosts to come out on command. You can't just show up and go, oh, I want to see a ghost tonight. Bam, there it is. I see it. No, I saw it. But that doesn't happen. So we went on down a little further south to Yorktown, to the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. And let me tell you, that was neat. The Yorktown Hospital, it was built back in the 50s, early in the 50s, and it was run by some nuns from the Roman Catholic Church, ran it. And then it closed as a hospital back in the 80s, and then it opened back up as a drug rehab facility. And then back in the 90s, they just shut it down, locked it down, because crazy stuff was going on. I don't want to tell you too much about what was happening because you need to go see it for yourself. But we did spend some time there. We did walk around. We spent the night there checking the things out. And before I get too far into it, let me show you. Take a look at this, just a little taste of what you can see wandering around in there. So anyway, that's just a portion of what you get to see in there. And apparently at one point during the drug rehab, they would lock the people in the cage to give them time to think about what they've done. Or at one point, I believe the nuns thought somebody might have been possessed and they stuck them in there to get the demons out. I mean, there's some crazy stuff. So you had that, there's an old cage way down in the basement, which that was weird. And then, throughout the rooms, even though it's transitioned from a hospital to a drug rehab facility, all the rooms weren't used. So a lot of the stuff is still there. The hospital beds are still there. There's old wheelchairs that are in some of the rooms. Like the labor and delivery room is still there, where apparently or allegedly the nuns would take the babies and take them to the women would have the babies there. Even some of the nuns would have babies because they got knocked up by the priest, and they would take the babies down to the ground floor to the incinerator and cremate them. So we've seen that down there. I mean, it was really neat to see in person. Now you can spend the night there. You can stay the night. There's really nowhere to sleep. Nobody sleeps. They're just walking around looking at stuff. But it was a neat thing to see. Be sure and take a good flashlight or two, because it's pitch dark. There's no electricity. The building's pretty much abandoned, condemned. I'd say it's condemned. There's some walls in there about to buckle. The roof leaks. It started raining while we were there. The roof leaks. There's an old chapel in there with an old organ. They do a sermon at midnight during the overnight stay. So that's a pretty neat deal. So check it out. If you're into haunted stuff, check it out. Haunted Rooms America. Go look at that. You can also go on Facebook and look at the group that we were with. I think it's called Texas Paranormal Investigations and Zombie Regulators, Zombie Hunters, something like that. Anyway, check that out. Look them up on the internet. And while you're on the internet, let's talk about this. Let's get into this. Carol Baskin. Everybody's blowing up about the Tiger King. Tiger King everywhere. Everything's Tiger King. I'm sure the kids going back to school got Tiger King lunchboxes. Well, if you're a fan of Dancing with the Stars, which I am not, I've never watched the show ever, except for the first episode this year. I did watch it because I want to see what happened. And what was funny was they saved Carol Baskin for the last person. She was the last celebrity to be introduced, which was funny because they saved her for the grand finale. And of course, what song did she come out to? Eye of the Tiger. How could you not? Terrible dancer though, by the way. Terrible. I didn't say that though. I didn't say it. Great dancer. Sorry, great dancer. No meat grinders for me. But it was interesting to see. What else is going on? We got trending topics are insane today. You got Carol Baskin. You got flags and stands. You got Hollywood adopting kids. Corona Halloween. Let's see. Where do we want to go? Let's go to. The flags and let's do the flags and standing sports. I think it's hilarious because everybody's so concerned about what other people think. What these football players, basketball players, whatever they think. You're looking too far into it. You're thinking too much into it. Don't overthink it. They're out there to entertain. They're here to entertain us. They're entertaining. Watch them for their entertainment. Don't watch them for their opinion. You don't watch them for their opinions. You don't go watch them run down the football field, score a touchdown because of their thoughts on, Dodge or Chevy. You don't ask them, well, you drive a Dodge or Chevy? You don't drive a Dodge. I drive a Dodge. You don't drive that. I don't like, no. It's just opinions. It's opinion. Whatever they want to do. If they want to lay down, they want to crawl, do a backflip during the national anthem, do whatever you want to do. Just win the game. All right, just win. I don't know. I got a lot of flack for that, but I don't care. It's opinions. Just like whenever people found out that people started saying they're not watching Yellowstone no more because somewhere along the line, Kevin Costner mentioned something about Democrats or supported Democrats, whatever. So everybody's all bent out of shape. I don't care who you support. I don't care what you think. Just entertain me. You're there for my entertainment, not for your opinions. Because for some reason, I have this one thing up here. It's called a brain. And it lets me think for myself. I can do that. You probably could if you tried. Think for yourself. Do your own research. Look up things. Don't just take what you're told. A long time ago, an old man used to tell me a lot of stuff. I always said, if you believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, you'll make it pretty good in life. And I think I have. So let's go on down. What else we got? Speaking of your political stuff, I don't care much about politics stuff, but those of you that are big political religious, because politics is a new religion, so those of y'all that are into that and you're not sure too much on it, Go watch House of Cards. I watched all 13 seasons of that. I didn't know it was 13 when I started. I just turned it on and started watching on Netflix. And 13 seasons later, it was interesting. But anyway, it kind of gives you an inside look. A lot of people say that it's closer to, I mean, none of these shows are going to be 100% of what happens, but it's closer to what actually goes on in politics. So it was really interesting to see how that worked. Let's see what the CDC says. What's the CDC tell us about Halloween since it's coming up? What do they say? They give some guidelines on what to do or not to do. I was reading this and I thought it was pretty interesting of what they want you to avoid and what their alternatives are. And I found it interesting that they don't want you going door to door trick-or-treating. They don't want you trunk or treating. They don't want you going to a crowded indoor costume party, especially a haunted house. And I was like, what's the deal with the haunted house? They said, well, in the haunted houses, you're going to have people grouped together and they're going to be screaming. So what happens when you scream? Stuff comes out of your mouth. Okay, well, put on a mask. Put a mask on. Or, so they don't want you to do that. What they want you to do is they want you to carve a pumpkin at home, okay? Decorate your own house, but who's going to see it because you can't go anywhere? So decorate your own house, have a virtual costume contest, or a movie night with your family. Okay, so you're telling these people that you've had locked in their house for 6 months, or almost 10 months now, or 6, 8 months they've been locked in the house. So everybody's been locked in their house all this time. Like, you know what? We got a great idea for Halloween. How about you stay locked in your house longer? 7 months. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do for Halloween. Stay locked in your house even longer. And we got some great ideas for that. Like you haven't thought of this. But I think I don't know. It's one of them deals that the CDC, they've been contradicting themselves so much. And they've gotten to the point where nobody's taking them serious. And I've been to a lot of events over the last couple of weeks. I competed over Fort Worth at the Paint Horse event. I announced a couple of rodeos the last couple of weeks, and everybody's pretty much done with it. They're like, look, everybody believed what the CDC was saying until they started contradicting themselves, and everybody's like, wait a minute, this don't make sense. Put on a mask. Okay, well, everybody's wearing a mask. Well, if the mask works, then why are you letting people out of prison and out of jail? Put a mask on them. If the mask works, just give them a mask. They're safe. Why'd you do that? They told people stay in the house, don't go anywhere. Unless you want to protest, then you can go outside in big groups of people and scream at each other. But at a haunted house, you can't go together in a haunted house in groups of people and scream. Don't do that. So it's so much back and forth that people don't know what to believe, and they're tired of it. Everybody wants to go do something. They want to get out of the house. I hate to say it, and I don't want to be that person, but, survival of the fittest. That's the way life goes. That's the way it goes in the animal world. That's the way it goes everywhere. And I can say that because both my parents are dead. One died at 49, one died at 54. Survival of the fittest. It's just the way it goes. If I hit 50, I'm doing good. That's the way I think about it. So let's move on. Enough dead talk since we're done from the haunted houses. Hollywood adopts kids from Africa. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into this one too much, but anyway, that's another one of those political deals. It's good and bad depending on the politics of it. When Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Hemsworth, all them, Hollywood elites go and adopt kids from other countries, Africa, Haiti, wherever. That's fine. They're doing a great service. But then you had some lady that's in the political arena. She's got 5 kids of her own, and she's got 2 adopted kids from Haiti. And the news story came out yesterday using the today's world's key phrase when they don't agree with, if they don't agree with what you say or they don't like what you say, they just say it's racist. So apparently this lady is now racist because she adopted 2 kids from Haiti. So go figure. They said that she was hiding her racism and trying to make up for being a racist by adopting 2 kids from Haiti. Makes no sense. No sense. But that's the world we live in. And we'll find out more about no sense when all the debates happen. But that's for Daryl to tell you about. Go find him on the internet. Let's move down. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna save all this rodeo news for the end. Let's jump to Let's go to the odd news. The odd news is the good stuff. Everybody wants to know about the odd news. And I want to get these out of the way because I like some of this stuff here. Let's go to everybody plays games, board games, video games now in the videos. But there's a guy here in Canada. He's Canadian. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but he's Canadian. So, a lifelong Dungeons and Dragons fan in Canada celebrating a big anniversary, 38 years of running the same ongoing game. Robert Wardhaw said he started running his campaign of this fantasy role-playing game in 1982. 1982, when only 4 players participated in a group. Now, for those who don't know about these games, because I sure don't, the players control their characters, but that's all you control. He controls all the other aspects of the game, like the weather, the setting, and anything that they're facing. He said he now runs 2 to 4 sessions each week over Zoom for his nearly 60 active players. That's a lot of people. He said his game is different from the official Dungeons & Dragons rules. It's a rule system that has developed and is constantly developing and constantly changing and getting better. So if you're a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, you have the internet and a Zoom, you could watch that. This story here has been up for about a week or so. You probably have heard it. If you haven't, you got a couple of days to get in on this deal. There's a beer company out there, and this is another advertising ploy. These are all marketing ploys, which is a genius marketing ploy. And the reason why I'm telling you about this one is because it's interesting. A lot of these I skip over. Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra. They are seeking a chief exploration officer, a CEO, chief exploration officer, to get paid $50,000 to explore national parks while drinking beer. You're going to spend 6 months traveling through the national parks in a camper van equipped with a bathroom, shower, a fridge filled with Michelob Ultra Pure Gold Organic Light Lager. I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure somebody does. That's a lot of words for a beer. The camper van is going to have all the gas you need. The gas is provided, as well as your $50,000 salary plus expenses. And you're welcome to bring along a friend, spouse, partner, even the dog. And speaking of the dog, we'll get to that in a minute. You can even bring the dog. The main thing they're looking for is a deep aspiration for nature, the willingness to hike to the perfect photo op, and the ability to capture engaging content for social media, and the love of beer. You've got till September 30th to get in on that deal. And basically, if you're a big-time social media person, which it's going to be a kid's deal. You're going to be probably in your 20s. You're going to at least be 21 because you got to drink. So you're going to be one of them kids in their 20s that ain't got nothing to do with their life, went to college and got a degree in art or something, and likes to drink. Load your dog up, go. But you're going to have to be good on the internet because I'm pretty sure they're going to go check all of your social media to see if you even know what you're doing. Because you got to be a good social media person. Probably ought to have lots of followers. That's going to help. But speaking of the dog, taking your dog with you, it's going to be a conflict of interest if you take your dog because of this. There's another beer giant that made a big splash that is a rival competitor, possibly. Anheuser-Busch quickly sold out of their latest offering of a dog brew. That's right, dog brew. Contains no alcohol, so don't worry about getting your dog drunk. He's not going to get drunk and try to drive off. It's designed to be enjoyed by your dog. The company said the dog brew is a bone broth made from pork, corn, celery, mint, turmeric, and ginger. Ingredients designed to appeal to the taste and natural needs of your dog. I guess someone interviewed a dog to find out what they needed, I'm guessing. Bone broth is also a great way for your dog who struggles to eat solid food to get all of their extra nutrients. If you're taking your dog on a trip and all he's doing is drinking dog beer, you better hope he goes outside because you're going to have a mess to clean up. Let's see, this product quickly sold out, but the company said that the interested customers are being put on a waiting list while they make more. Gonna be a lot of bone-drunk dogs out there. Let's see what happened in England. Let's go across the pond. Let's jump over and see what happened. An alpaca escaped from a farm in Britain, traveled to a local soccer field where it interrupted the game just before halftime. The game between Carlton and Ilkley Town in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, England, was paused for about 5 minutes before halftime when the loose animal made a 20-minute visit to the field. Witnesses said the alpaca, named Oscar, was eventually escorted off the field by the owner, and they finished playing the game. The team that won 2-0 said it's now considering making an alpaca their mascot. So I'm like, this is the first game you ever won, and you never won a game before. You finally won one because the alpaca showed up. So that's what happens. Let's stay with the drunks and go here to our next drunk story. A non-running vehicle listed for sale in Missouri is drawing a lot of attention because of an unusual feature. This large refrigeration truck, shaped like a six-pack of Miller Lite, is a 1982 Ford Ecoline van, which once served as a delivery truck for the beer company, and features a refrigeration unit on the back shaped like a giant pack of Miller Lite. Al Jackson, I wonder if is that Alan Jackson, maybe? Al Jackson, who listed the truck for sale in St. Joseph, Missouri, and on Facebook Marketplace. So maybe on Facebook Marketplace still. You can go look at it. He said it's definitely guaranteed to be a fun project. The truck does not run, but for $2,500, you can do what you want with it. So $2,500 right there. I mean, that's the advertisement. I mean, I think any beer company would want to buy that. Want to buy that and then just put your own beer logo on the side of the truck, park it out front, or throw a new motor in it and drive it around town. Advertisement. All right, let's jump over here and do some rodeo talk. Let's talk rodeo. PBR, professional bull riders. The National Finals Rodeo. Let me do this. The National Finals Rodeo is going to be here at the baseball field, which is interesting because it's going to be at the baseball field. Everybody's like, why is it the baseball field and not across the street at the football field where they have the other rodeos? Well, it's because it's in December, and there's a possibility there might be football happening. I don't know if you've been watching football the last couple of weeks. It may not be happening. But the NFR is going to be at the Globe Life Field, the huge barbecue pit or barbecue grill of Arlington. Everybody said it looks like a giant barbecue grill from the sky. You look down, it's like you open the top and you're grilling. Well, I went inside for the press conference for the National Finals Rodeo. It was really neat inside. It was nice. First time I've ever been in it. I think it just opened this year for the Rangers, but nobody's been inside to see it. So it was neat to see in there. The Rangers were actually practicing during the press conference, so we was kind of looking over there and see what they were doing. It was a nice facility, pretty neat. It's got the retractable roof that opens and closes, so that's kind of a neat deal. But anyway, the National Finals Rodeo is going to be there. If you're wanting more details on it, if you go to pepperstewart.com and click on press releases and news stories or whatever, I wrote an article about the NFR being here. I've also got some I've got the articles that I write plus press releases from the different associations are there as well, so you can look at those. But it's going to be a neat deal. It's going to happen here, along with Fort Worth's going to help. Some stuff's going to happen in Fort Worth. Some stuff's going to happen in Arlington. So between the two cities, it's going to be a heck of a winter time as long as the weather cooperates. So let's see what the PBR is going to do. They've got a special deal going to happen. The PBR Air Force Reserve Cowboys for a Cause event is going to take place aboard the USS Lexington. And you're like, what is that? That is a ship. That's a ship, like an aircraft carrier. And it's in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's going to be broadcast on CBS Saturday, December the 5th. Check your local listings for times because it's going to be at 11 Texas time. Your time, I don't know. The special event will also be covered on CBS Sports Network's pre-shows on Friday night and Saturday leading up to the event. The event is an invitational team event featuring 5 teams of 3 Cowboys riding to support military members and their families through this new charity initiative. The PBR is going to construct the bull riding arena on the 872-foot-long launch deck on top of the aircraft carrier known as the Blue Ghost. They're going to bring in 300 tons of dirt and steel and more than 15 miles of copper and fiber optic cables to support the event's television broadcast. The Bucking Bulls, which I found this interesting, will be brought on board via the ship's still functioning aircraft elevator, the same system that brought the planes up the flight deck from the hangar during battle. And then they're going to have some aircrafts aboard the ship, kind of in the background for the the look. And I think it's going to be pretty neat. When I put the story out, a lot of people were all upset about how to get to it and tickets and all that. Well, here's the reason why. For one, the event's not going to count for points. So whoever wins this event, you're just winning it to win it because it's not going to count towards your world points. Now, the event is closed to the general public. This is why you couldn't get tickets. It's closed to the general public, but the PBR is offering exclusive viewing for VIP guests and the Ultimate Experience ticket packages and members of the military. So that's why you can't go. But you might watch it on TV. Sit at home, watch on TV. Isn't that what the CDC said? Just stay home longer watching TV. Become a couch potato. Maybe go outside, get some vitamin D. All right, what about this? This is going to be an interesting deal. The World Championship Rodeo Alliance is going to have, I put this out a while back about the Women's Rodeo World Championship. Well, since everything moved from Vegas to here, because you got the NFRs coming here, the PBR finals coming here, the Better Barrel Racers events coming here to Stevensville, the Better the Breakaway Roping Championships coming to Stevensville, the barrel racing things coming to Stevensville, a bunch of other events are moving from Vegas. And along with those is this, the Women's Rodeo World Championship will be relocated from Las Vegas to Fort Worth, Texas during the Corona time restrictions. So the $750,000 event, paying equal money in all disciplines, will be hosted November 8th through 12th. The qualifying rounds, now pay close attention to this, the qualifying rounds are going to be at the Will Rogers Memorial Center, with the final sixth from each four disciplines will be competing at AT&T Stadium in Arlington alongside the PBR World Finals in the championship round, November 13th through 15th. So the qualifying round is going to happen in Fort Worth at the Will Rogers, and then the finale of the Women's World Championship is going to happen during the PBR at AT&T Stadium. So that's some tickets you don't want to miss. Now, if you're wondering about what the women are doing, these women are competing in four disciplines: breakaway roping, barrel racing, team roping, which includes heading and heeling, and they'll compete for a piece of the historical $750,000 with an all-around $20,000 bonus. Champion in each discipline will walk away with a minimum of $60,000 each. $60,000 each. That's a lot of money for them. So I don't know. Check it out. Go on to, if you go to pepperstewart.com, look around. There's a lot of stuff on there. You can get shirts on there. The shirts, all these shirts that I wear, everybody asks about, the rodeo clothing shirts, there's links on there where you can order those shirts now. You can order hoodies and stuff that are show shirts with show logos and stuff on them. You can get those as well. Not sure what your Netflix looks like, what you've been watching on Netflix. There's a lot of good stuff coming out that you've seen or haven't seen, you might want to check on to. But I think coming towards the end of the year, for the rodeo fan in North Texas, the opportunity to go see some great events is going to happen, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to go to Vegas and spend time in Vegas because there's a lot of stuff going on. You got horses to feed, you got stuff to tend to, you can't get away. So when the tickets went on sale for the NFR, they were gone. I think they were gone in like 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes, they were gone. They were sold out. The scalpels got them, season ticket holders, because they got their tickets ahead of time. So it's gone. So they're all gone. And what else is about to be gone is me down the highways and byways of North Texas. And while you're driving down the highways, if you've got a cellular phone and you want to listen to some music or some interviews or some talk, Rural Road Radio is what you want to check it out. You can go to Rural Road Radio, just Google it, Rural Road Radio, and you can watch it on. There's a desktop version of it. There's also an app. The app for it is on Radio Line. It's called Radio Line. You download the app, and you search. Then you search Rural Road Radio. You can listen on the go. The Texoma Cattleman Report is on there on Saturdays, I believe, and on Fridays there's Ag 30 agriculture shows on there on Thursday. On Fridays, Saturdays you got the Texoma Cattleman Show, and on Wednesdays you got War Wednesdays, which is Warriors in Rodeo, which is a military group for active, former, and supporting military. So you can check them out, Warriors in Rodeo. They have a War Wednesday. Their show airs there too. A lot more stuff's coming up on it, so you want to check it out. Take a look at it and go watch it. And with that, I have to go.